Let's start with a world built on a lie. Imagine a society told their pioneers, terraforming a new world for the good of all humanity. Now, what if those pioneers were never, ever meant to see that new world? This is a deep dive into that kind of world, and what happens when you forge a person into a weapon to shatter it. This isn't just some poetic description of a bad day at work. This quote gets right to the heart of what it feels like to exist for an entire population. They are born deep underground, and they live their whole lives in this suffocating, claustrophobic heat, where the very air you breathe feels like an enemy. It's the physical reality that underpins their entire society. And they're told their sacrifice is everything, that all their hard work, digging for resources in the deep dark, is paving the way for a bright future up on the surface. They truly believe they're the tip of the spear for humanity. But here's the brutal truth. The surface has been livable for centuries. Their grand mission, it's a myth, and their home is a prison. So how do you keep a system like this going? Well, you can't do it with force alone. You need a story. A really powerful, all-encompassing story that makes the suffering of millions feel like it has a glorious purpose. And that's what this is, a noble lie.
You'd think it would just be misery, but life finds a way. Down in the darkness, they've built this incredibly rich culture. They have clans, traditions, music. Their whole lives revolve around the work because they believe in that future they're mining for. Their rulers, these godlike figures called golds, they're a genetically engineered elite who stayed distant, dangling rewards and punishments to keep the myth alive. The lie is so total, it has become their truth.
But here's the thing about lies. No matter how big they are, they're fragile. And sometimes the thing that shatters them isn't an army. It's just one person making one choice. A choice to believe in something more than the story they were fed. The protagonist's wife. She gets this. When she's sentenced to die for singing a forbidden song, a song of hope, she doesn't fight it, she embraces it. Her execution stops being a punishment and becomes a statement. It's her choosing why she will die, and in doing so, she grabs the only real power they have left. Her death becomes the spark, and her final act just blows the cracks in the system wide open. It pushes the protagonist out of his grief and right into the hands of a rebellion he never knew existed. They see his pain not just as a tragedy, but as an opportunity. A chance to turn that fire into an inferno that could burn the whole system to the ground. And they've got a plan, but it requires an absolutely terrifying sacrifice. So how do you fight gods? Because that's what the golds are. They aren't just rich and powerful, they're genetically designed to be bigger, stronger, and smarter in every conceivable way. So to take them on, you can't just send in a spy. You have to create a monster. You have to build a god of your own. He's put through this agonizing process they call the carving. It's not just plastic surgery. It's a complete deconstruction and reconstruction of who he is. They lengthen his bones, graft on new muscle, sculpt his face. They literally remake him into the perfect image of his enemy. It's a rebirth, all right, but one that comes through unimaginable pain. Okay, so changing the body is one thing, but the real problem is so much deeper, right? How do you teach a man who has known nothing but servitude to think like a master? How do you wipe out a lifetime of being at the bottom and install the absolute arrogance of someone born at the top? Even the person who performs the physical transformation, the carver, he's a total skeptic. He says you can't do it. You can't change what's at the core of a person. You can't take the instincts of a miner, a mouse, and turn them into the instincts of a ruler, a lion. It's just impossible. Well, it turns out they were all wrong. The rebels soon figure out that his past isn't some weakness they have to erase. In fact, it's the opposite. All those skills he learned just to survive in the mines, that insane dexterity, the ability to think in 3 dimensions, staying calm when everything is about to kill you, those are the exact skills that give him an edge. His past is his greatest weapon. So he's been remade, he looks the part, and he's armed with this unique skill set from his old life. Now he gets sent straight into the Lion's Den, a brutal, elite academy known only as the Institute. And this is where he's going to learn what it really means to be one of the masters. His entrance exam isn't something you can study for. It's called the Passage. All these students, the best and brightest kids of the ruling class, are brought into this cold stone room. And right there, the entire philosophy of their society is put on full, brutal display. Now, the Institute picks the absolute cream of the crop, the most promising young golds from all over the solar system. For any given class, let's say 100 are chosen to attend. And this tells you everything you need to know about their worldview. Half of the students are brought there just to be eliminated by the other half. They're pitted against each other in a literal fight to the death. You see, in their world, power isn't just something you inherit, it's something you take. Weakness isn't a character flaw, it's a resource to be used up by the strong. After he's forced to kill another student with his own hands just to survive, he's completely shattered. All those high-minded ideals of his rebellion feel a million miles away. He finally understands, in his bones, that to even exist in this world, you have to trade away a piece of your soul. So to survive the Institute and actually pull off his mission, he realizes he can't just pretend to be one of them. He has to become the best of them. He has to master their twisted games of cruelty and manipulation and power, even if it means he becomes the very monster he swore to destroy. The Institute's curriculum? It's not about books and lectures. It is a live-fire experiment in how to rule. All the students are just dumped into a massive wilderness and told, conquer it, and conquer each other. Political science is building an army. Psychology is learning how to exploit someone's deepest fears. The only grade that matters is survival. And this is where things get really complicated, because he's good at it. He thrives in this brutal environment. He becomes a leader, people start to respect him, and he even forges real, genuine friendships with the very people he's there to betray. The mask starts to feel less like a mask and more like his actual face. Which brings us to the central, nagging question of this whole story. Can you really dismantle the master's house using the master's tools without just becoming the new master? He's fighting for freedom, but to do it, he's learning the trade of a tyrant. His transformation really reveals a chilling truth about power and revolution. The same rage that fuels you, the same ruthlessness you need to win, can so easily become the foundation for a brand new tyranny. The weapon you forge to break your chains might just be shaping itself into a crown.